Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy coming at you with another video, and in today's segment we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm not going to be showing you any vinyl records from my collection in today's video, but what I'd like to do is, many of you know that I am a high school teacher up in Northern Ontario in Canada, and that's my main job. I'll be going back to full-time work as of next week. But what I'd like to do is kind of go over the struggles of being in a remote northern community in Ontario when it comes to the vinyl industry. Some of the issues that I face when I want to collect records, if I want to purchase records, and you know, how I get them here. That kind of thing, and basically the struggles, I guess, that I would have as a collector here in the north. Now, disclaimer, you know, I'm not saying that this is the worst struggle in the world. Obviously, there are far more big issues going on in our world today, and so, you know, the vinyl hobby, I mean, that's exactly what it is for me. It is a hobby. I've mentioned some of my other hobbies that I have here at home. I also collect board games and things like that. I mean, these are, you know, to quote what other people might say, these are first world struggles. So, you know, we got to keep that into perspective, that this is just a hobby for me. Love the music, but I wanted to go over some of the difficulties that I face when purchasing my records. So without further ado, if you are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button if you like what I have to say. Leave some comments in the section down below. Leave me a thumbs up, and yeah, we will take it from here. So the number one, I guess, struggle that I have living in the north, here in Northern Ontario. I live in a community that is on the James Bay coastline on the Ontario side. And there is no road access in and out of my community. In order for me to get in and out of my community, I put my vehicle on a flat car, on a train, take a 5 to 5.5 hour train ride in and out of the community to get back and forth. So it is quite remote from that perspective. And the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to a struggle is, in my community, there are no record stores. We have kind of a one-shoe-fits-all store downtown. It's a grocery store. They used to sell CDs and things of that nature. I think that they still do have some CDs and some VHS, not VHS tapes, but DVDs for those that like to watch movies and stuff. But there is no vinyl record section at my local store. So what does this mean? This means that I either have to order online or I have to wait until I go out of town. So, or wait and see if there's some yard sales and stuff. But some of these things that I just mentioned, they're going to be coming up later on down the list. But yeah, the major struggle for me is that because I do not have a local friendly store, this goes with my other hobbies too. I mean, buying board games and things of that nature that I do collect as well, are difficult to come by unless I order them or find them in other ways. So at number one, no record store in my community. Number two on the list, we have, you know, if I don't have a local record store, there really is no local thrift stores as well. So there's no Value Village up here. There is no Goodwill. There are no local antique stores or anything like that. So when that comes to mind, I mean, the nearest thrift store to me is 5.5 hours away via my, you know, railway line. So I would have to travel 5.5 hours just to get to the nearest thrift store. And if I want to get to an even better one, I would have to drive an hour and a half from that point of contact to the, I guess we would call it a city here in the north, but the city of Timmins, Ontario. So no thrift stores at number two of the difficulties of collecting in the north. So coming in at the number 3 spot here on my, you know, struggles that I have as a northern vinyl collector is the, you know, I know down south and in the U.S. and lots of other places. I've seen other members of VC, even in Europe, going to different yard sales and different people's I guess antique shops and stuff like that. My number 3 is yard sales in my community are infrequent. So come late September to say mid-October, weather is going to start getting colder. We're going to get to the fall season, and so therefore there's only a short span from about May till say August where people are doing yard sales around here. And even when they're doing yard sales, because there isn't a high demand for records, things like that, a lot of people just don't sell records as part of their yard sales. So what does this mean? This means that if I want to go to a yard sale, I would have to travel quite a distance based on the location. I've mentioned it already, that it is at least a 5 to 5.5 hour train ride in and out of here, and then depending on where the yard sales may be, it's just not worth it unless I am on summer vacation. And when I'm on summer vacation, I'm just not doing the yard sailing thing. So yeah, infrequent yard sales is number 3 on my struggles list of being a northern vinyl collector. All right, so let's get into some bigger stuff. These next 4, 5, 6, and 7 are going to kind of fall under the same category, and that has to do with the Canada Post mailing system here in the country, and some of the difficulties that I face in particular in being in the north when it comes to the mailing system. So first and foremost, at number 4 is the shipping costs. For me to have anything shipped to this community, it's almost a work of art what I kind of have to do to mitigate some of the shipping costs. I'm not going to go into that because then, I might ruin it for myself doing this. But at the end of the day, shipping costs to get things into this community can be outrageous. I mean, to the point where, it's almost not even worth buying stuff. I've seen on Discogs, shipping costs to my location can be anywhere between 20, 30, 40 Canadian dollars just to get it here. If I'm ordering from a shop online and things like that, depending on how I do things, shipping costs are just crazy. So what that does is it brings me to the number 5 spot on this, and that is sometimes the shipping costs are so astronomical for me to get records up here that I might as well just wait until I move, or not move, but go south on vacation, or if I have a medical appointment or something like that, I can go out and I can purchase a record. The shipping costs are actually more than the record itself. So it just doesn't make any sense for me sometimes to even have things shipped here. It's just a matter of the waiting game, waiting until I'm on vacation or out of town. So yeah, number 4, the shipping costs. Number 5, sometimes shipping can actually be more than the record itself. All right, at the number 6 spot, this applies to things like Amazon. It applies to things like Costco, Walmart, sometimes Best Buy. Is they don't ship a lot of times, or I would say almost all the time. They will not ship to a P.O. box. And basically we have a Canada Post office here, and so I can't just have something shipped to my front doorstep. It has to be shipped to a post office box. Now, I don't understand. I mean, maybe somebody in the VC can explain this to me. I've never been able to understand it. Why shipping to a post office box is discouraged nowadays. If you look at it, if you were to, even in towns that do have road access in Northern Ontario or in places like Northern Manitoba or the Northwest Territories, Yukon, I mean, you're looking at post office boxes that you're having things shipped to. And I mean, I get products such as, you're ordering a refrigerator or a drum kit or something like that. I mean, those are heavyweight objects that I could understand not being sent to a post office box. But when you are looking at something like a couple of vinyl records, I mean, those things don't weigh hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Why can't they be shipped to a post office box? So one of the struggles I have is I have to kind of mitigate to an extent, and I've done this before, especially with Amazon, whether it's mitigating the postal code or, manipulating my address some way, shape, or form to get it here. I've done it, but what it means is I cannot guarantee that the product is going to get here because of that. So, I mean, I can lie that I don't have a post office box. I could use a street address, but at the end of the day, it's going to go to my local, Canada Post, and it's either going to get there or it's not. Now, sometimes it doesn't even get to my location. It'll get as far as, say, halfway here, and then the Canada Post transfer locations, the warehouses and stuff like that, they probably realize that there is something manufactured there with the address, and so it gets returned. Recently, I had this happen when I was ordering a brush for my record player. I ordered it from Amazon, and it got as far as Sudbury, Ontario. They, I believe, must have looked at the address, or they realized that it was a post office box it was going to, and it was returned to the shipper, and therefore, they just refunded me the money or whatnot. But yes, at number 6, they don't ship to post office boxes. All right. Now, at number 7, we have online orders. Now, I can order online, but all of these other factors, the shipping costs, the shipping can be more than a brand new record itself. The fact that they don't ship to PO boxes, ordering things online falls directly into this category. So, for example, many years ago, I had ordered a bunk bed for my 2 younger boys through Costco. And as soon as Costco saw that it was coming up here, they were like, nope, we do not ship to your location. Walmart used to ship things like groceries. It used to ship records. It used to ship toys up here. But then I believe that they must have caught on that shipping to these locations is not as easy as it seems, and therefore they stopped shipping. So things like Amazon and Kohl's or Indigo, things like that. Best Buy will ship here because we do have a location that's not too far away. But at the end of the day, using online orders can be risky. Some companies will ship here, some companies will not. I do have to watch with that. So there's no guarantee that online orders will end up getting to my location. And sometimes online orders can take a month or 2. This happened to me using eBay. Did an online order through eBay from the United States. I think it was somewhere down in Florida. And I ordered a couple of original NES games. And it took 2 months for it to arrive here. So, that's something that, do I want it right away? If I want the record right away, it's not going to get here like, say, an Amazon overnight order, or if it gets here in a couple days, or something like Wayfair. A lot of people get Wayfair in 2 or 3 days. It's not like that. Now, there are some products, if I order within Canada, particularly if I order within Ontario itself, through their online sites, their websites, may get here and say, if I ordered it on a Monday, it might arrive here on a Friday or a Saturday. So it depends. What is my time worth? Is that worth it? It's not worth for me to get too excited about it because it's out of my hands. So that is number 7. Online orders. There's no guarantee that it'll arrive here. There's definitely no guarantee that it'll arrive here quickly And thirdly, there's no guarantee that it's going to ship here at all. So if I do an online order, I really have to watch that. I've had a couple of occasions where I did the order and the order went through, and then they emailed me back saying, hey, we don't ship to your location. We will refund you. Something along those lines. So I got to watch it with that. Makes it difficult being a vinyl collector here in the north. All right, at the number 8 spot, access to equipment. This is a big one. I see a lot of VC channels, and they talk about getting, good quality speakers or good turntables, things like that. Even something like I mentioned already, the brush that I ordered through Amazon, it was returned. They didn't ship it here. So trying to order bigger, more bulk products, really at the end of the day, it boils down to I have to leave the community, bring my vehicle with me, or if I know somebody in the community that is, say, five and a half hours away, I could send them some money. They could purchase it for me, and then they could put it on the train and get it to me. But it boils down to that equipment in the vinyl collecting hobby is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. Even as far as these shelves behind me, those are not Kallax shelves. IKEA would not ship Kallax shelves here. I forget who I ordered these through. It was either through Canadian Tire or Best Buy. Might have even been, I got them at Walmart. It might have been. Anyway, I had to go out of town to get them here. They were not shipped here. I just put them in the back of my truck, put them on the train, or in the case of the wintertime, actually there actually is an all winter road, an ice road, and that ice road is about a 4.5 hour drive, so I could drive it there. But once again, that winter road only runs for about a month and a half, from about January to sometime in mid March. So anything heavy, it's going to be costing me lots of money in shipping. So if it comes up through Canada Post, it's probably not even going to get to Canada Post. It's either going to come up on an airplane, which is extremely expensive, or it's going to be shipped up in the boxcars on the train, which then you're looking at freight to put it on the train. So access to equipment, that's one of those things that I would have to leave the community in order to get it easily accessible to my house. Right? I'm not saying it's not possible, but I am saying that one of the struggles is it is difficult for that. Which then brings me to the number 9 spot, which is travel. I mean, just traveling in and out of here, I mean, it's time consuming. It is not the cheapest thing, right? I mean, if you are, especially with me, I've got a wife, I've got kids, I would have to pay for tickets return to put all of us on a train. I would have to put my vehicle on the train. Then you're looking at hotels, you're looking at the cost of gas, you are looking at the cost of just traveling in general. So travel costs are not cheap. However, when it comes to, you're looking at the shipping costs, I always do it in the summertime. A lot of my, when I'm on my vacation, I will often go out and do some thrifting and stuff like that, because I'm already out. I've already paid for my accommodations and things like that. That's just how I do things, right? So it is a bit of a difficulty in my community. All right. And so with that, we have one last, I guess you would call it, struggles of being a northern vinyl collector. And it's one of the reasons that, I like the vinyl community, the VC here, is I've got to know quite a few people through the VC, and I like watching everybody's channels. It gets me some ideas and things like that. And, at the end of the day, we have a common thing with our hobby here. We're all interested in music. We want to get to know more about the hobby. We get to learn about each other's interests, become friends and things of that nature. And so my number 10, I guess, struggle as a northern vinyl collector is that in my community, there really isn't a lot of people that collect hobbies, and therefore there's no, I guess, VC in this community as a whole, right? Very few vinyl friends that I have. I mean, I can talk with, some of my colleagues at work. Some of them do have some records in their collection, but really at the end of the day, we are in a streaming society. A lot of people still collect CDs and things of that nature. With the bulkiness and all that of getting records here and the difficulties associated with that, there isn't really a lot of people that are collecting here. And therefore, I have very few, I guess you would say, vinyl friends that live in my community. So, I love this hobby. It's great. Love collecting here. Some of my records, I would say a good portion of them at the beginning were an inheritance to me, and I just had them brought here. I brought them in boxes in a vehicle. I just enjoy listening to my music every day. Keeps me going. Helps with mental stress and just de-stressing at the end of the day, bringing back memories of my dad, my grandfather, my family, listening to music on the radio. So that is all great. But it's too bad that there wasn't a bigger vinyl community here in town. So with that in mind, those are the 10, struggles that I would have as a vinyl collector here in the North. If you have any comments or feedback, what are your thoughts about, me being in the North and collecting vinyl? Do you have any tips or suggestions when it comes to, say, Canada Post and delivering to post office boxes and things like that? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any struggles in your communities, I mean, I know that not everything is perfect. What are some of the issues that you might run into collecting vinyl records in southern communities or other parts of Canada, other parts of the United States, or other parts of the rest of the world? I'd like to hear from collectors down in Australia or the United Kingdom, Morton in Norway and Denmark. I know that you kind of go through both of those locations. Do you have any struggles in your part of the world? It'd be great to hear from you all. So yeah, if you like what I had to say today, leave me a thumbs up, leave me some comments down there. Please feel free to subscribe if you are a new viewer to this channel. And until next time, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.